Some years ago, I wandered into an exhibit of glass by the extraordinary artist Dale Chihuly and became a fan. The images you're looking at are ones I took while at an exhibit of his work in San Francisco that had a large number of pieces. His art is absolutely breathtaking in person, and the videos online of his team working together to create these extraordinary pieces are like watching a carefully choreographed dance. This type of creativity takes years of studying and training, but I knew I really wanted to learn how to do at least the most basic glass blowing. The Bay Area Glass Institute was offering classes and I signed up. I dressed in layers of cotton to protect myself from the heat and possible burns and showed up very, very excited. You'll note the instructor is working in a t-shirt. So the basic layout of a glass studio includes at least a couple of furnaces that generally run at about 2300 degrees to keep the glass molten. The main one in this studio is in the center of the picture. Inside the furnace is the crucible that holds the molten glass, steady at about 2000 degrees Fahrenheit or so. There's also at least one specialized furnace called a glory hole. The glory hole is kept at about 2100 to 2300 degrees and has double hinged doors in the front with a hole in the middle. You can see the one in this studio slightly to the left of the main furnace. Glass cools down pretty quickly when you're working with it and has to be reheated, and that's what the glory hole is for. The doors are opened and the pipe with the hardening glass on the end is placed on the support and inserted into the glory hole for reheating, then the doors are closed. The hole in the middle of the doors is so the rest of the pipe can remain outside, since only the end goes into the furnace. The bench where you sit and work is very utilitarian. A flat wood seat supports on either side for the pipes that are long and pretty heavy, especially with glass on one end, a side table for your metal hand tools, and, very important, a big bucket of water behind you that has the wooden tools soaking. Depending on what you're doing, another table may have different colors of glass chips that can be used to color the clear glass you gather at the end of your pipe. I used cobalt blue for the bowl I was making. My instructor showed me how to gather some glass from the crucible onto the end of a preheated pipe, rolling it around a bit to even it up, and then I started to blow, rotating it to keep the glass evenly distributed. We gathered more glass, continuing to rotate. I blew some more until it had to be reheated again. It's very hot in the studio and the pipe is also quite warm. That's why there's a mouthpiece on the end for us novices, which you can see in the picture. The glove on my right hand is flame and heat resistant to allow me to get close to the glass to shape it, necessary when you consider that the glass is about 2000 degrees. Once you've started to blow the glass so there's air inside, you begin to shape it evenly in a wooden circle block that has been soaking in water and is nice and wet. You have to roll the pipe back and forth smoothly while you use the block to shape and even up your blob of quickly cooling glass. By the way, that red-orange blob is going to be my blue bowl. That's how hot it is. Once you get it shaped properly, you use the large tweezers, called jacks, to start shaping the indentations in the bottom, still rolling back and forth. The cooler the glass gets, the harder this is, and I needed some help. My instructor then put a blob of molten glass on the table. The tables are all metal for a very good reason. That would become the base of my bowl and join the two together. He then helped me to roll the piece back and forth while applying pressure to the bottom with a paddle to smooth it out while it was still soft. Then we used the jacks again to make more of an indentation between the bowl and the bottom. At this point, I stood up to roll the bowl back and forth to keep it round and even, while my instructor gathered a little glass onto a metal pipe called a punty rod, a solid rod for final working. In this picture, he's attached the punty rod to the bottom of my bowl and is scoring the top in preparation for separation, all while we're constantly rolling back and forth. Once it was on the punty rod, it was reheated in the glory hole, and then I used the tweezers and jacks to start opening the bowl up, reheating it as necessary. I used the wooden paddle to open it up more and make a lip on the bowl, keeping the top as even as possible while rolling it back and forth. You can see in this photo why the wood is kept wet. The bowl is so hot it's dried part of the wood and some flames begin to show as I'm finishing the lip. This very short video shows how the bowl was removed from the rod.
Right up to where it connects. Give it a little low tap over here. Comes off. Then use the torch to fire polish all those sharp edges off of that.
He immediately placed the bowl in the annealing oven to cool it down to room temperature slowly so it doesn't crack, which takes about 12 hours. So here's the finished product. While I'm definitely no Dale Chihuly, I'm very proud of my first piece of blown glass, and it sits in a place of honor in my home. Not too bad for the first time.